Hey guys, thanks for watching Signs and Wonders. I would just like to give you a quick apology in advance. This movie making software I've used for a long time has all of a sudden wanted to start charging $50 a month now, or they're going to place a watermark in the video, and they're telling me this after I spent days editing this video. They're like, you can download it for free, it'll just have watermark. And I didn't think it'd be a big deal. I thought a watermark, how bad could that be? Well, just wait till you guys see where they decide to place the watermark. So, long story short, I don't think I'll be using the software anymore, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So, thank you guys for watching, and God bless you all. Welcome to Signs and Wonders. Before we jump into the End Times news report, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to my Patreons and supporters, and just all you guys in general who watch my videos and help me share the message. Thank you so much, guys. Plagues and famine. Swarms of millions of locusts devastated crops in India amid the pandemic-created economic crisis. India has been hit hard by the worst locust storm the country has experienced in nearly 30 years, as the nation grapples with the ongoing coronavirus crisis that has overrun hospitals. Swarms of millions of desert locusts that stretch up to 4 miles long crossed into the western state, I'm going to slaughter this, of Rajasthan from Pakistan at the beginning of May and have since entered Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra and Gujarat. The Food and Agricultural Organization, or the FAO, believes that the current locust crisis was caused by the strong winds that followed the cyclone Amphan that hit India and Bangladesh on May 20th. The FAO said that desert locusts are the most destructive of all locust species because of their speed and their ability to quickly multiply. An adult locust can fly up to 93 miles an hour. The swarms have devastated crops in a country that was already grappling with an economic crisis as a result of the pandemic. Hard-hit states are carrying out locust control operations that involve using drones to break apart swarms and fire trucks to spray pesticides. Rajasthan has been implementing these measures since May 22nd, but states across the country have since issued alerts to farmers advising them to make loud noises and light fires to repel the locusts.
Now, India and Pakistan are facing their worst plague of locusts in decades. Authorities in both countries fear a food security crisis. And even as Pakistan struggles with the economic fallout of the coronavirus lockdown, its agricultural sector says the insect infestation poses a greater challenge.
These tiny insects are far from fussy eaters. Feasting in swarms of millions, they're now threatening to out-eat Pakistan's population at a critical time. The locust threat is several times more dangerous than the coronavirus. I would say it is 100 times, 1,000 times more dangerous than corona. When you were fighting against coronavirus, you had crops, grains, vegetables, things to eat. No one went to bed hungry. While Pakistan's economy is reeling from the ongoing coronavirus lockdown, the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization estimates its agricultural losses from locusts could surpass $5 billion this year. Authorities have set up a national response team to assist 61 districts of the country that are under threat. The first and second weeks of June are going to be critical for us, because the locusts that are now in Iran and in Muscat will start heading towards Pakistan. To combat that, we have stationed helicopters in various desert regions that fall along the way. In the meantime, desperate farmers waiting for help have had to take matters into their own hands, trying to drive the locusts away with noise. In neighbouring India, it may sound like a party, but there's nothing to celebrate as the country struggles with the same problem. Devastated crops, a further threat to the region, which is also struggling with economic costs of lockdown. Here, teams are scrambling to stop the swarms before breeding can take place during the monsoon season, which begins in July.
The swarms are expected to remain for at least another few weeks. Also, earlier this year, East Africa was hit by a locust outbreak, the worst the continent had seen in decades. Breaking news from June 3rd, 2020, drought has cut Moldova wheat crop by 45%. Moldova's wheat harvest is likely to fall to about 600,000 tons this year from 1.1 million in 2019 due to severe droughts that the country has been dealing with. Moldova consumes about 350,000 tons of wheat each season, and it exports the rest. Drought concerns eyed for the Corn Belt, analysts say. U.S. grain markets have perked up a bit lately, helped by more aggressive Chinese purchases of U.S. soybeans and concerns over the 2020 crop. Crop weather drought concerns have been renewed with a hot/dry forecast for the Western Corn Belt the next 2 weeks. Even the Eastern Corn Belt is threatened with heat. Weather forecasts have continued the improved chances for rain in the Eastern Corn Belt, with the 8 to 14 day forecast calling for above normal precipitation in that area now. However, the Western Corn Belt will see below normal precipitation for the entire 14 day forecast with above normal temperatures, hot and dry. The heat will also occur in the east, but the improved precipitation chances keep the crop outlook decent. There is virtually no organized rain system today in the Corn Belt. The heat that's coming may not damage corn and wheat much, given high soil moisture conditions in the Corn Belt, but it could still significantly damage soybean yields if soil moisture is depleted by the time pod filling comes. Earthquakes in diverse places. Strong magnitude 6.8 earthquake hits Chile on Wednesday. Santiago, an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8 on the Richter scale, struck northern Chile early Wednesday morning, the U.S. Geological Survey said. The quake struck 62 kilometers south-southwest of San Pedro at 7:35 GMT time, at a depth of 145 kilometers. The epicenter, with a depth of 96.84 kilometers, was initially determined to be at 23.295 degrees south latitude and 68.4217 degrees west latitude. There were no immediate reports of casualties or damage, which is good, but these earthquakes are getting more severe and frequent, just as predicted in the Bible. A 5.5 quake hits shaky California desert region. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake has jolted the region of California desert, where a powerful quake last summer was followed by thousands of aftershocks. The U.S. Geological Survey says Wednesday's quake hit a fairly shallow depth shortly after 6:30 p.m. and was centered 13.6 miles north of the small city of Ridgecrest. A dispatcher with the Ridgecrest Police Department said there were no immediate reports of damage or injury. The quake was felt as a bump and rolling motion in a high-rise building in downtown Las Vegas. Local television news broadcasters stopped as anchors reported seeing lights swinging in their studios. It also shook buildings in downtown Los Angeles. A magnitude 7.1 quake on July 5, 2019, and a magnitude 6.1 foreshock the day before strongly shook the region. Damage from those quakes occurred to facilities on the sprawling Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake, as well as in the nearby communities of Torona and Ridgecrest.
Earthquake shook San Bernardino County a short time ago.
That's right, the 5.5 magnitude earthquake was centered near Ridgecrest.
KCAL9's Nicole Comstock is live tonight at Caltech in Pasadena. And Nicole, what are seismologists there saying tonight?
Well, we were actually in Hancock Park sitting inside of our live truck when this earthquake hit, Susie. We honestly didn't feel anything, but I know that a lot of people across LA County and San Bernardino counties are saying that they did feel this jolting them pretty strong. And seismologists are saying that this was in fact an aftershock from last July's Ridgecrest earthquakes that were felt all over the place. So take a look at the map here. This is the area that we're talking about. The magnitude of 5.5 earthquake was centered about 10 miles south of the Searles Valley near Ridgecrest, so the same place as last July's earthquakes. And that's basically in the middle of the desert on the way to Death Valley. Well, people who live in the Ridgecrest and Trona communities are still very much trying to recover from the damage to their homes and schools from last July's magnitude 6.4. and then the 7.1 that hit the following evening. Now, we were out there for about a week last year reporting on that, so I called a couple of the businesses that we spoke with at that time. A liquor store that said they did have some bottles move around this time, but thankfully nothing that fell off the shelves. And then another restaurant that reported no damage this time around. But people there are still certainly very nervous since they've been through this before. Here's seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones, and then a woman who lives there, not too far away from this earthquake in Trona.
Almost certainly on the same fault that that was involved in the earthquake back in 2019. That, in fact, involves several different faults. This is within the area that had aftershocks back then and has continued to have aftershocks since then. This is just the largest in quite a while.
Pack of TV trays fell on my daughter's foot. That got bruised pretty bad. But for the last year, we've been having, these aftershocks. And I feel like they're getting a little bit more frequent. And then, of course, this one was bigger than what we've had. So it is a little bit scary, especially since July's next month.
Severe weather and signs from the heavens. Cyclone Nisarga targets Mumbai amid coronavirus crisis. Less than 3 weeks after hosting Category 5 equivalent supercyclone storm Ampha, the Indian Ocean is again blistering with storm activity. A significant tropical cyclone is likely to develop in the Arabian Sea by Wednesday evening, slated to bring strong winds and flooding rains to Mumbai. It comes as the city is gripped by the coronavirus crisis, with hospitals overflowing and local infrastructure overwhelmed. The financial center, home to 18 million people, has logged roughly 1,000 deaths and more than 40,000 COVID-19 infections. The city is set to be slammed by cyclonic storm Nisarga on Wednesday into Thursday, which the Indian Meteorological Department predicts will be accompanied by a storm surge of up to 3 to 6 feet and winds gusting up to 75 miles per hour. If a 6-foot storm surge is realized, as in the predicted worst-case scenario, some parts of Mumbai could experience inundation. While a surge of around 6 feet is at the high end of a list of possibilities, the India Meteorologist Department states the most likely outcome will be a surge in Mumbai of 1.5 to 3.5 feet.
In Alibag, the winds have become stronger and it is just difficult to stand because now the cyclone is approaching. It is within 100 kilometers from Alibag, and as you can see, right now it is in low tide, which is somewhat of a relief that it is continuously raining and it is low tide, so it is a relief that waterlogging may not take place in low-lying area if it is low tide at this point of time. But the sea swaying of trees and the sea is absolutely choppy at this point of time, and although it is low tide, but still you can see how the waves are in fact choppy, and in fact it is the winds are blowing so strong that some of these loose branches of trees are also falling off, which just means that the cyclone is approaching Alibag coast, and the people near the coastline have been evacuated already. The evacuation process is complete, and now the police is patrolling the entire city and the coastline of Alibag, saying that people should stay indoors, and this is a time when the cyclone is approaching and they're asking people to stay
Vladimir
indoors.
Putin to declare state of emergency. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has declared a state of emergency after 20,000 tons of diesel oil leaked into a river within the Arctic Circle. The spill happened when a fuel tank at a power plant near the Siberian city of Norilsk collapsed last Friday. The power plant's director, Vilas Starstun, has been taken into custody until the 31st of July, but not yet charged. The plant is owned by a subsidiary of Norilsk Nickel, which is the world's leading nickel and palladium producer. The Russian Investigative Committee, or the SK, has launched a criminal case over the pollution and alleged negligence, as there was reportedly a 2-day delay in informing the Moscow authorities about the spill. Ground subsidence beneath the fuel storage tank is believed to have caused the spill. Arctic permafrost has been melting at an alarming rate, with exceptionally warm weather for the first time of the year. President Putin expressed anger after discovering officials only learned about the incident on Sunday. And that's your End Times News. Today is June 4th, 2020. I'm Nick, and I would like to say stay safe. God bless all of you and your families. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And thank all of you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on Signs and Wonders.